successful 365 days of the year.
It's amazing. America leads the world in diets, and look at our nation's health. Not very good. But it might surprise people. We don't put people on diets. We tell them not to even think like that.
The very first appointment that we have in the clinic is kind of like it's an interview between the two of us to see if we can actually, if we're a fit and if we work together. If we may not see eye to eye on all things, but we're trying to come together to form a relationship that's going to be best for their long-term journey.
The question is always asked with this idea of water, how much do we need to drink? And there's many, many ways to sort of kind of organically, artificially calculate that. Sometimes we'll say, well, half your body weight in ounces is fine, but let's go.
Common question people often ask is why diets don't work. Everybody goes on a diet, and in the first 3 weeks of being on a diet, they feel like they want to die. And if you feel like you want to die, of course, you're going to abandon that diet and go back to the habits that you're used to having or have been used to participating in. In order to break that yo-yo dieting cycle, we are going to talk about some functional nutritional processes that you can put into your life that will be successful 365 days of the year.
It's amazing. America leads the world in diets, and look at our nation's health. Not very good. But it might surprise people. We don't put people on diets. We tell them not to even think like that. I remember recently I had a person ask me, well, you're going to help me with diet, right? I'm like, nope. I'm like, what do you mean? You guys talk about nutrition all the time? I said, yes. And they were like confused. And I explained to them that diet talks about what you're not supposed to do, talks about what you're supposed to avoid or what is being restricted from you. Whereas we want to talk about what you're supposed to do. So it's easier to follow something that says, here's your food. Have as much as you want. Eat as much as you want, anytime you want, as opposed to, here's your food. Don't eat more than this. See, there's a difference in that, and people don't respond well to diets.
They don't respond well to diets. In fact, the conversation often becomes having a healthy relationship with food instead of the emotional eating or the stress eating or the eating when you wake up in the middle of the night because it's a habit. We have to have that healthy relationship with food and really understand, is this good for me? Is it not? Is this going to fuel my system and be gas in the tank, or is it not? Is it going to be something that I wake up actually feeling good and not bloated in the stomach? Or is the scale maintaining itself, or is it not? Now, I'm not saying being obsessed with the scale is a good thing either, but we must start out with having that positive, healthy relationship with food and how that food is actually relating to our bodies.
A lot of times we don't have healthy relationship with food because we're trained from early on in childhood that food is something that can make you feel better if you feel bad. It can make you not hurt if you hurt. It can comfort your wounds if someone dies. It can help you celebrate if you win a game or something like that. So we've been conditioned since we're little bitty people to use these non-foods, and they become addicting. So we become adults, all the same things happen, life happens, we resort right back to those things, those habits. And so we've got to think about shifting it from the concept of diet to the concept of fuel. It's fuel, it's what you eat becomes part of what makes your body run. So eating is really examining what kind of fuel you put in your car. It's like pushing a button at the gas station, which grade of gasoline are you going to put? That's the kind of selection we need to make with food. Because we wouldn't think about going to a gas station and there were 4 buttons there. 3 of them had gas and 1 of them had soda. You wouldn't push the soda button for your car.
You wouldn't get down the block.
No, but you wouldn't do it. It's like it's foolish, man. So you'd push at least some kind of gas We got to start putting real gas in our bodies and not things that kill us.
Once we have that real relationship with food, it takes a few days sometimes for the feeling of food to show up, except for maybe the sugar high or, the caffeine high. You feel good immediately, but long term, it's not relatable until you understand how nutrition is affecting your health. So once you have that good relationship with a healthy nutritional protocol, then you can begin to understand how is it making you feel in terms of energy, in terms of sleep, and in terms of waking up with the quality of life that you want to have, decreasing inflammation in your
Mm.
joints, in your belly, decreasing the weight on the scale. Then you can start to understand how you feel with food after you have established the relationship.
Well, you need to understand that it's not about calories either. It's about nutrients. And for so long, we've thought about this idea of calories eating less is good, but that really doesn't work because calorie science has been proven wrong. And it's kind of funny when you think about that. We've all thought eat less and see your weight go down. But what happens if you reduce the calories too much? You're going to see a decrease in muscle tissue. Scale may go down, but your health also will go down too. So the moral of the story, I suppose, is don't diet, live it, eat real food. And if you just focus on eating real food in its original packaging, you're going to find your health's going to improve as well. So how's that for a brand new reframing of the concept of diet?
Is your doctor the right one for you?
Some cool tips for the right selection.
Coming up next. I don't know about you, but I have to have that cup of coffee in the morning. And Kingdom Coffee is mold-free, it is pesticide-free, and it is organic. It's got this flavor that is delicious. You don't even have to put cream or sweetener in it.
And it's Kingdom Cup with a K,
K.
right? So this is important. 50% of all coffee at least contains mold. And this is a key thing. That's in bean form, right? So you're going to be a little grinder. There's just a few bucks. Grind it up, put it in your maker, and make it. Why did we go with the bean form, the whole bean? Because ultimately the powder form is the one that gathers the most moisture. And that means the more potential mold development. So this is actually organic, mold-free, certified. It's got a little certificate with it. That's important because ultimately people drink coffee. It's cultural. And so we tried to meet the culture where it is and create a healthy alternative.
I don't know about you, but I have to have that cup of coffee in the morning. And Kingdom Coffee is mold-free, it is pesticide-free, and it is organic. It's got this flavor that is delicious. You don't even have to put cream or sweetener in it.
And it's Kingdom Cup with a K,
K.
right? So this is important. 50% of all coffee at least contains mold. And this is a key thing. That's in bean form, right? So you're going to be a little grinder. There's just a few bucks. Grind it up, put it in your maker, and make it. Why did we go with the bean form, the whole bean? Because ultimately the powder form is the one that gathers the most moisture. And that means the more potential mold development. So this is actually organic, mold-free, certified. It's got a little certificate with it. That's important because ultimately people drink coffee. It's cultural. And so we tried to meet the culture where it is and create a healthy alternative.
Hey friends, you already know the answer to this, but we'll ask you anyway. If you stay away from your favorite junk food for a month and then go back to supersizing it, will your health improve?
Well, that's the thing about change. To change, we have to be as consistent as possible.
And when we go back to an old habit, it's not the end of the world. We just get back at the new habit.
Before you know it, real transformation is evident to you and others.
That's why we offer a bunch of helpful bonuses when you subscribe to Kingdom Fuel.
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life, and we'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today.
Over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of discussion about how to find the right doctor that fits what you want. And we know there's a lot of question out here. Is this good? Is this bad? Can you trust this? Can you trust that? So we're going to talk about some ideas that will help you select the right doctor that's for you.
Why would you have to find a new doctor? Perhaps you're moving to a new city. Perhaps your doctor has moved practices. Perhaps your doctor is retiring. Perhaps your doctor's gone on to school and gotten another board certification, is changing specialties. There can be all kinds of reasons why you have to actually change doctors. So when you change, it's important to find one that actually meets your needs and actually sees you as a human being, as not just what do they call it? A cattle call? But they actually they sit down and they talk to you where you feel like you have open communication. The very first appointment that we have in the clinic is kind of like it's an interview between the two of us to see if we can actually, if we're a fit and if we work together. If we may not see eye to eye on all things, but we're trying to come together to form a relationship that's going to be best for their long-term journey in healthcare.
I think the best thing people want to do is I think there's 2 different kind of categories you can look at. If you want a doctor that will be there just to prescribe medicines for you, that's all you're worried about. And I'm not knocking anybody that is. If that's what you want, there's doctors out there for that. But if you want to go the other direction and find something of a conversation like we're talking about where the doctor, we kind of start the segment out, the doctor working for you that you really want. Are they listening to you? Are they working for you? And are they working with you? These are key questions, and you got to have confidence there. In that scenario, you're working on not just reactive medication prescriptions, you're working on proactive stuff to avoid disease processes. And that's kind of where we land. And a lot of people kind of want to know, how to select that. But I always begin, tell them the same way you just mentioned it. Do an interview with them. You talk to them, and if they can't answer your question, it's probably time to move on.
And you want somebody that's going to help you get to the root of the problem. And sometimes in mainstream medicine, it's kind of like silo medicine. The doctor will just send you to all different types of specialists before really actually diving into the root of the problem and finding out, is your lifestyle optimal? What's going on with your stress management systems? What's going on with your socioeconomic situation? What's going on in all your relationships? What's going on with, is there street drugs involved or addiction? Or the whole picture really matters. So you want somebody that's going to listen intently to all of the things that makes you up from start to finish, like from utero to where you are today, because the body never forgets. We may forget that something has happened, but those memories and those situations and, those scars are still there. So sometimes that is what is at the root of the problem. So somebody who's going to be a good listener and be able to really dig into the root is what you want to look for.
Yeah, and look around. Today, it's better and more voluminous in selections today than it was 15 or 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. I mean, people are now starting to gravitate towards that kind of doctor relationship where they feel like they've got a sounding board and also a mentor to keep them from being sick. And I think that's the angle people need to take. And there's more options out here today than there was even a decade ago. So, ask the questions, look at the website, ask them for, and don't be afraid of this. Do you have patient testimonials? Would you care if I talk to a patient? And they're not going to back away from that, because I've asked patients to call people before, and they will.
Also, you want to maybe find somebody who not just does in-office practice, but perhaps does a little bit of telemedicine. In-office visits are very important because you get the vital signs, you get the hands-on, physical exam, but sometimes telehealth can also be a benefit if distance is a problem.
Yeah, certainly. And we see benefits today in, all types of doctors. You want to have an emergency care kind of doctor, but you also want to have more of a functional medicine kind of upstream healing kind of doctor. This question is one that you need to be answering, because I want someone in my corner that's going to teach me how to stay well and stay out of the system as far as staying out of the hospital. That's the key point. So when you're hunting for a doctor, ask the right questions, find referrals, be picky, and do a rigorous interview process.
Understanding keys to the importance of hydration.
The incredible importance of water, coming up next. Now we have it, Kingdom Crunch.
It's important to start breakfast off with a power-packed punch. You want a complete amino acid score, good protein. If you turn the label over and look at the back of the box, there is no added sugars in either one of these flavors, either peanut butter or acai bowl.
Peanut butter has 11 grams of high-quality protein. Acai bowl has 8. Peanut butter has 11 grams of carbohydrate, acai bowl 12, and both of them have a good solid fat content at 6 grams. Very filling, very healthy.
You will be fueling yourself with high quality fuel, starting off the day right. You can even use Kingdom Crunch as a snack in the middle of the day if you just have a craving and you want to eat something that is good for you, it has a crunch, and doesn't have a lot of calories.
There you go. Diabetic friendly, keto friendly, paleo friendly, Kingdom Crunch, and
Child friendly. Hey friends, you already know the answer to this, but we'll ask you anyway. If you stay away from your favorite junk food for a month and then go back to supersizing it, will your health improve?
well, that's the thing about change. To change, we have to be as consistent as possible.
And when we go back to an old habit, it's not the end of the world. We just get back at the new habit.
Before you know it, real transformation is evident to you and others.
That's why we offer a bunch of helpful bonuses when you subscribe to Kingdom Fuel.
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life, and we'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today.
Kingdom Candy with a K again. 2 flavors. We got salted
Delicious.
caramel and peanut butter. These are great. I mean, they're
kind of like a complete meal.
they're 200 calories. People want to know that all the time, and not that we're worried about calories, but these things have great ingredients. They're not sweetened with sugars, and they don't have those false sugars or fake sugars, artificial
They've got
sugars.
fiber in them.
They do. It's interesting. Salted caramel crunch is our newest flavor. We'll come up with some other stuff at some point, but those can bridge the gap of that sweet tooth craving. They're sweetened with monk fruit. That's really, if you know what that is, it's not going to raise blood sugar.
It's really only 2 grams of sugar. I refer to it as the sweet without the cheat.
Any of these things out here are designed to be money-saving, nutrition-giving, and life-enhancing. And this is a big deal. So you'll find out, like thousands of other people did, that these things will help you live healthy longer.
I don't know about you, but I have to have that cup of coffee in the morning. And Kingdom Coffee is mold-free, it is pesticide-free, and it is organic. It's got this flavor that is delicious. You don't even have to put cream or sweetener in it.
This is actually organic, mold-free, certified. It's got a little certificate with it. That's important because ultimately people drink coffee. It's cultural. And so we tried to meet the culture where it is and create a healthy alternative. It has been said that you are what you eat, but we'll take it one step further. You also are what you drink. And did you know the body is majority-wise made up of good old-fashioned water, H2O.
What is water? Water is two hydrogens and an oxygen. Those molecules are just stuck together and it forms this unique liquid. And without water, without drinking water, we cannot survive. As you said, the body is made up of the majority of water. That's about 65% coming from those hydrogen and oxygen molecules. That water is also responsible for even having blood going through your veins. If we don't get enough water, we become what's called dehydrated. And if we're dehydrated, that can dry out your eyes, that can dry out your joints, that can make you depressed, that can make your blood pressure off. There can be a lot of effects that come from not getting enough water.
The question is always asked with this idea of water, how much do we need to drink? And there's many, many ways to sort of kind of organically, artificially calculate that. Sometimes we'll say, well, half your body weight in ounces is fine, but really it's that can't be completely accurate because somebody's morbidly obese, that might be an enormous amount, or somebody's underweight, that could be a minimum amount. But I think we can generally say it's somewhere between about 60 and 100 ounces a day as a general rule, but probably more if you're an active person. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. You have to put back what you sweat out. So if you're a person that's running marathons or you're out in the 100-degree heat in Phoenix, for example, you're going to need to hydrate a little bit more than somebody who's just sitting behind a desk all day.
Well, no question. And I think a lot of times, one of the things that we've talked about before that's helped me drink more water, and I do drink a lot of water, but it's the principle of visibility and availability. If it's visible and available, you'll drink it. But if it's out of sight, it's out of what? Mind. And so people need to have it. I have it on my workstation, and I have it with me all the time. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning, before I have a cup of Kingdom Cup, of course, I'm going to have some
coffee.
water. Yeah, the coffee. I'm going to have some water because I think it's that important. So you want to start the day hydrated. Coffee, just as a simple side note, tangential piece of information, is a diuretic. It can actually help you, drain water a lot.
Yeah,
So you
it's
can
been
actually
said that for every cup of coffee you have, you need to drink 2 cups
That's
of
right.
water. And that would be right in line with the fact that 75% of Americans run a quart low on water. So staying hydrated is really important. I like the fact that you said, I start my morning out with water. And why would that be important is this thing called digestive harmony. People will come into the clinic and say, well, I'm constipated. Things just aren't moving. And it turns out the system simply needs more fluid.
Without water, we don't excrete waste products, which is just like, wow, that's important to do, right? But also without water, as you mentioned earlier, we won't live. One tip that we've done, and we've talked about hydrogen water before, but to have hydrogen water around in the visible standpoint of that, and actually the added benefit of that of reducing inflammation on a cellular level, which is great systemically as well, is I tend to drink more because I push that button and the blue
Like
light
watch the
comes
bubbles
on. I'm
come
like,
up.
that's cool, man, in my little hydrogen bottle. And I think that promotes more water intake. And just reports on that, I've had people tell me, parents say, my child drinks more water. I drink more water because the device is cool. But we do need to drink more water. And the best time to drink it, not the best time, but the time that we probably forget to drink it the most is in the wintertime when it's cold. That's when the most frequent dehydration occurs. Wow, that's kind of cool because when we sweat, we realize we got to replace it.
Yeah, and there's a relationship with that. If we're dehydrated in the wintertime, we oftentimes see people with more joint aches and joint pains. It's not necessarily just because it's cold outside. It could be that we're running a quart low on simple hydration.
Yeah, I was reading that our joints have about 80% water in there. And if that's true, like you said, then the lack of that hydration in those joints would create joint immobility or joint stiffness. And so there you go. I think hydration is going to be the thing we should be focusing on, shouldn't we?
Yes. Another thing is kidney stone prevention. Boy, those little kidney stones, if you've ever had one, you never want to have another one again. Hydration, hydration, hydration. That's the first line of defense, or the first treatment to prevent those kidney stones, is to make sure that you are well hydrated.
You don't have to binge on water. If you could just kind of have it, start off with a good amount, start off with about 15 ounces or so, 12 ounces in the morning, get a good start off hydrated so you don't start off dehydrated and have to catch up. And then the last thing you do before you go to bed is have some sips of water. Now, I realize if you say, well, if I drink a lot before bed, I have to wake up to pee several times.
The key is sip.
You sip it after dinner time, but make sure you're consistently sipping it with that visibility and availability principle all day long.
You've often heard me say the solution to pollution is dilution when it comes to detoxification. If you stop the incoming offending agents, your body's going to have less toxicity on board. Well, how else do you dilute toxicity? Is drinking more water. You're diluting the pollutants that's in your system. You're improving digestion and the ability to move it out through the bowels and the kidneys.
So there you go. More reasons than you ever thought about for drinking water. But drink your water. Again, 60 to 90 ounces minimum per day. If you sweat a lot, drink more. Don't neglect it in the wintertime. Use these tips, use these tricks, and even use hydrogen water to help yourself drink more. And have a happy hydration day.
Hey friends, you already know the answer to this, but we'll ask you anyway. If you stay away from your favorite junk food for a month and then go back to supersizing it, will your health improve?
Well, that's the thing about change. To change, we have to be as consistent as possible.
And when we go back to an old habit, it's not the end of the world. We just get back at the new habit.
Before you know it, real transformation is evident to you and others.
That's why we offer a bunch of helpful bonuses when you subscribe to Kingdom Fuel.
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life, and we'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today.
If you're suffering from fatigue, if you know you got toxic overload because you bring in stuff that's actually inflammatory and toxic, it's time to get your body in a place where it can function again, because toxic buildup can and does and will kill you.
Kingdom Detox and Kingdom Detox packets. So the body's completely nourished. It gets a little bit of rest because it's not having to over digest, so to speak, and it gets the right nutrients that support those phases.
That's why the Kingdom Detox process works.
Let's go.